Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to Channel Sport this morning. Many thanks for joining us again. I am Tayo Salam.
And then good morning to you. Thanks for joining us again on the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Let's bring you up to speed with what is happening in your amazing world of sport. Let's start with the UEFA Champions League. Spanish giants Real Madrid recorded the first win in this season's competition after beating former champions, 2010 champions, Inter Milan 3-2.
Yes, that game eventually turned out to be the most competitive on the night. Rodrigo coming off the bench to get all 3 points for Real Madrid. Also on the show, still talking about the UEFA Champions League, there were quite a few big wins on the night. Match day 3 in games played from groups A to D. I'm talking about Liverpool, Bayern Munich, and surprise, surprise, Borussia Mönchengladbach, all recording massive wins that look more like tennis scorelines.
You consider again, Tyre, wins that look like tennis scoreline.
Incredible stuff.
6-2, 5-0.
Yeah.
I mean, very interesting.
6-0, 6-love. That's more appropriate.
Since we're talking tennis. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next one is tennis, and a couple of upsets right there in Paris. Stefano Tsitsipas and David Goffin both are out of the Paris Masters. Stefano Tsitsipas lost to Frenchman Hugo Humbert. He lost 7-6, 6-7, 6-3. And of course, he's crashed out. Slovak qualifier number Gombos also was responsible for the ouster of David Goffin. Beat the Belgian 6-4, 7-6. And those two are out of the competition. All right, before we continue on the show, let's keep you up to speed with what is happening with the American elections in the United States. The presidential elections currently going on. Let's just give this to you. U.S. President, I was talking about President Donald Trump, has criticized the ongoing vote counting efforts by claiming that a very sad group of people is trying to disenfranchise his supporters. To prevent this, he says he will go to the Supreme Court to stop all vote counting. In his words, the U.S. president claims, quote, "This is the fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country," the words of U.S. President Donald Trump. Ironically, he is also insisting that states where vote tallies currently show him leading should be called in his favor, despite significant outstanding votes yet to be counted. That's the update from the United States, the elections currently going on. And of course, you know already that here at Channel Television, news comes first. So at any point on this show, we might have to interrupt if any breaking news comes in, or if there's anything related to the U.S. elections while we're still on the show. But that's a piece of breaking news. We continue with sports for now, just in case anything comes up. So, Tyre, that's the beat. Let's go to Paris Masters and talk about the offsets. Yeah,
starting off with the biggest on the night has to be Stefanos Tsitsipas losing out in the second round. No one expected this to happen at all, especially taking on a player who's not the best, on the ATP tour. Talking about Hugo Humbert. Home favorites, you can say all of that. Perhaps playing.
You still don't expect him to be
you still don't think.
Tsitsipas.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a massive upset for Humbert, defeating Tsitsipas in 3 sets, 7-6, 6-7, 7-6 in 3 hours and 16 minutes. That's his second top 10 win of his career, pretty much, because earlier in the season, he also defeated world number 5, Daniil Medvedev. That was in September at the Hamburg Open. So, I mean, he's very capable of doing stuff like this. And
he's making us take notice of him. 2020 has been somewhat...
it's been a breakthrough season for him.
The world has taken notice of him, and even though I still say it's still an upset, but he's doing the right things, and things beginning to show for him. Huge prospects, promising career ahead of him. And you can see
look at that. He just dropped the racket.
Yeah, he just dropped
the racket. I just beat Stefanos Tsitsipas.
It takes a lot to be able to take out Stefanos. And if you do that, you just have to enjoy the moment when you do get dropped.
Absolutely. You can say that again. Up next for Humber is 2014 Marin Cilic, 2014 U.S. Open champion. Of course, Marin Cilic is on the best of form these days, but he's still a very good player. So that will be a very tough test for Humber.
You never know which Cilic
is going to turn up. Right.
But on his day, good player.
Of course, absolutely. Anyway, so that's it for Tsitsipas. It's the end of the road for him at the Paris Masters. He can now go and focus on trying to defend his title at the ATP World Tour Finals later in the month. Still in Paris, Sam, let's talk about another upset, David Goffin. David Goffin is also out of the competition after he was destroyed in his own second round matchup. David Goffin taking on Gombos. We talked about Gombos, was he last week? One of the ATP Tour events as well, to decent player. And against David Goffin, he got the job done.
Got the job done. Second set was close, 6-4, 7-6. You know, you could see on the face of Goffin that he
disappointed, of course.
Disappointed with himself. And he lost that one. Next game you have on screen, Stanislas Wawrinka up against Britain's Daniel Evans. Wawrinka got the job done. Defeated his opponents in that one.
6-3, 7-6 in 1 hour and 33 minutes.
He needed his tiebreaker in the second set, but at least he got the job done.
35 winners on the night as well for Stan. He's going to take on American Tommy Paul for a place in the third round. Last but not the least is Milos Raonic. Of course, he was in action as well too, and is powered into the second round after beating Algiers, Bedene 6-3 and 6-2 in just 63 minutes. Is going to take on home favorite Pierre-Hugues Herbert in the next round. So that's it for the French, not the French Open, the Paris Open. Of course, it's going on in France. So you can understand the little mix-up right there. So that's it for tennis, Yemi. Rafael Nadal will be in action later today. It's gonna, it's got to buy into the and it's gonna take on Feliciano Lopez. We talked about it yesterday, and if Nadal doesn't win this game, that'll probably be the biggest upset of this competition thus far.
But you know, he has to approach this game with a little bit of caution. Feliciano knows a thing or two.
Of course,
Rafael Nadal
knows a lot actually.
So,
a lot,
whether or not you'll be able to put all of those things into play, we'll see. But we'll see what happens. So we'll see whether Nadal is able to progress and hand the hoodoo right there in Paris. All right. At this point, we will be joining our man. I think he's ready to have a chat with us, Austin Okon, our man. Right here in the city of London. A lot is happening around it. But first, Austin, let me welcome you to the show. Good morning. It's nice to have you join us.
Good morning, Yemi. Good morning, Tyler. Good morning to our viewers wherever they are in the world watching us. It's good to be on the show this morning.
Yeah, someone is looking a bit cold.
All right. We can understand. All right. So, Austin, I don't know where you want to start this morning.
Yeah, we'll start with AJ, right?
Let's start with Anthony Joshua and fill us in. I know you have some updates.
We'll start from London.
Yeah. Right.
I know you have some updates about AJ, some of the good work, charity work he's been doing in Nigeria, and all of the things happening around him.
AJ. A phenomenal AJ, proud Niger boy, anytime, any day, we love him because he's always proud to be associated with Nigeria. That's why we're giving love back to him. He's in Sheffield at the moment, preparing for his December the 12th fight against Kubrat Pulev. And of course, we're hoping that he's going to come out as a champ, that he's in that fight. Guys, I was here last week and I told you the story of the love AJ is showing to the community in Mushin in Lagos, Nigeria. AJ saw a video.
From London, filling us in with what's been happening from that end. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from the break, we'll talk about the UEFA Champions League, all of the things that happened in the UEFA Champions League, and a whole lot more for you on Sports This Morning. All right, welcome back. It's time to introduce our guest to you, but I won't do that just now. I want to bring you into the show. You're an integral part of the show, and of course we want you to talk to us today. Tell us how you feel about all the things happening in your amazing world of sports. And in case you're joining us for the first time and you're wondering how you could be a part of the show, this is how you could be a part of the show. You can send us a mail. You can also get across to us on Twitter. You can tweet at us at @channels_sports. Let us know how you feel about all the things happening in your amazing world of sports. You can also send us the mail, sportsthismorning@channelstv.com. Let us know. We're talking about the UEFA Champions League. We've also talked about tennis, the Paris Masters, and of course Georgia Obo in golf, and the handball Premier League. Talk to us on all of these issues and any other thing that gets you talking this morning. All right, let me introduce our guest this morning. It's been almost a year that I've seen this man, but it feels good to have him back with us. Wilfred Monk, good morning. It's nice to have you, James.
Yeah, good morning. It's a pleasure being here. Almost a year maybe for you.
Okay,
the same
for you.
of Tayo. I've been here a few times this year, but it's always a pleasure being here.
All right. Always great to have you, Wilfred. So let's just cut to the chase and go straight to the UEFA Champions League match day 3. Games played last night. Some incredible scorelines you're going to be seeing very soon. We talked about the tennis scorelines. But let's start from Group A and see what happened between Lokomotiv Moscow and Atletico. As you can see, ended 1 apiece in that game. Very frustrating night for Diego Simeone's side. The goalkeeper of Lokomotiv was just incredible. Played a blinder, you have to say, to help his team get the 1 point in that game. And the first tennis scoreline you're seeing is from between Bayern and Salzburg. 6-2 ended. Bayern going down to a very early goal, but we expected them to come back, and that's exactly what they did. Stormed back, and they've now won 14 straight Champions League games. Wilfred, you wonder what's going to stop that run. Let's go to Group B, and Shakhtar Donetsk, they were thrashed right there in Ukraine. 6-0 by Borussia Mönchengladbach, 6-0. And Inter Milan and Real Madrid ended 3-2 in favor of Real Madrid. Rodrigo scoring the winner in that game. You must say that Ramos scored his 100th goal for Madrid as well. It's incredible. We'll talk more about Ramos later. It's just incredible numbers.
Actually, it is.
Anyways, in Group C, FC Porto 3-0 over Olympique Marseille. Olympique Marseille, they're just terrible in this competition. They've lost 12 in a row now in the UEFA Champions League. That's an unwanted record that they have with Anderlecht. And for Porto, Nigeria's Zaidou Sanusi playing a very good 90 minutes in that game. And Man City, expectedly, still perfect. 3-0 over Olympiacos. Ferran Torres scoring yet again. Of course, Gabriel Jesus as well too was on target for Manchester City. 6 times now he scored in his last 5 Champions League games. In Group D, Atlanta 0-5 against Liverpool. That was a bit of a surprise. Didn't see that one coming at all. We've heard to get your thoughts on that. Diogo Jota, of course, a hat-trick for Liverpool. Last but not the least, for me, the most impressive win on the night, Ajax going to Denmark with all the troubles with COVID, having to play a rookie goalkeeper and all of that, and getting all 3 points. But we're not starting with Ajax. Wilfred, over to you. Let's start with Real Madrid, Inter Milan, the big clash on the night. Real Madrid finding a way to win their first game of this competition.
I remember they went through that unwanted record, not winning in 4 straight Champions League games, and it was looking like this game would stretch it to 5. But it was good to see that they got all 3 points. But again, don't get flattered by that scoreline. It was an entertaining game. It's a game that could have gone either ways because Inter started the better side. Both defenses looked shaky. tricky. No surprises because, I mean, they have issues at the back, especially Real Madrid. Luckily for them, Vasquez could start on the right for them. But Inter had a few chances earlier on, but they failed to take advantage. And when Real Madrid got a goal, went 2-0 up even, and Inter pulled one back. It became a promising encounter, and it turned out to be so eventually. In all, I would say that it's more about the team who wanted it more than went on to get this one. And Real Madrid obviously knew that they were winless after 2. Same for Inter going into that fixture. Both of them actually could not afford not to get a win or something out of them. But unfortunately for Inter, Real wanted it more, and they got all 3 points. And the way it stands in that group, Real could still go on and win this group because Mönchengladbach are topping that one with 5 points after they won yesterday 6-0 away. But Real, obviously, this result is a major boost for them to see if they can still finish top of this group. But for Antonio Conte, it's obvious that they are missing Lukaku. Quite obvious. And Ivan Perisic, who started the season playing as a wing back,
it's now having to play
partner Lautaro Martinez, and that's the position that Lukaku used to play, and he hasn't really done badly. He hasn't got a goal yesterday.
Scored the previous game as well.
In the Serie A. So it looks like it's working. Where they probably have issue, although Nicolo Barella has been doing well, playing just behind them. But when he goes off, the guys who come on, they don't seem to replicate what he does for them in that attacking midfield position. But Hakimi, terrible day for him, because going into this fixture, lots of talk about Real Madrid. Side. Yeah, Real Madrid don't have a right back going into this. And they let Hakimi leave, and Hakimi gifted this guy, Benzema, for the first goal. What a night for him to forget. But in all, like I said earlier, good one for Real Madrid. It's good to see those youngsters also.
Do you think Inter, because it looks like they're in peril now, do you think they can still... 3 games to go, can they still turn it around?
Yeah, they can, because it's a very tight group. Mönchengladbach are on 5 points now, Madrid on 4, Inter are on 2 points.
Yeah, it's not lost. It's not all over.
It's not. What they need to do is maybe try and avoid a defeat against Real Madrid.
So the next game now against Real Madrid, they've got to get their 3 points.
Exactly. If they get the 3 points, massive. They are en route to qualify, but if they get a draw, they can still go on and pick up points from the other 2 games.
There's still a lot of games to play. You're right. It's too early to start ruling out any teams from qualifying for.
But I'd like to see them drop, so they'll play Milan in the Europa League final.
How would you want that? Anyways, so that's it for Real Madrid. Good win for Real, first of the season, and UEFA Champions League. Let's talk about Liverpool and Atalanta. During our analysis yesterday, we thought Liverpool were going to find it very difficult. Even our analyst said so as well. The backs, they've not been impressive like that. They've been managing to get out of jail in a lot of their games. But it showed up in Bergamo yesterday and smashed Atlanta. Atlanta always score goals.
Yes.
So it's even more surprising that they've lost by 5-0, not 5-4 or 5-3.
Actually, very shocking, because at the weekend we saw Muriel and Alejandro Gomez taking off at halftime. You could tell that the coach was preparing for this fixture again against Liverpool. But what happened? Liverpool showed up with a weakened defense. I mean, there's no Van Dijk in quotes, and they scored 5 unreplied goals. But I think it's more about Diego Jota. The Portuguese has been phenomenal. This is 3rd hat-trick in European competitions in just how many? I think within 2 seasons, which is great. And yes, at Wolves, he wasn't scoring much, but he's now at a better side. Yeah, but he wasn't.
Because he wasn't the main man.
He wasn't the main man, and Wolves don't score a lot of goals, but they just know how to grind out those results. Now he's in a better team where the services are better. You expect him to do better than he did at Wolves. But more importantly, I think he offers Jurgen Klopp more options. He could decide to go with a 4-2-3-1 and put Jota right there, and he would perform. And Jota is offering more than Firmino.
There even talks about him playing ahead of Firmino.
Well, with the way it's going, this is 4th goal in the Champions League. He scored against Midtjylland. And so he deserves it.
Scored the winner Maradona over the weekend as well.
He also scored. So when you're scoring goals like this, it's very difficult for the manager to drop you to the bench. But I must say credit to the Liverpool defense. It's not easy to keep Gomez silent. I mean, Atlanta scored lots of goals, even though you could say this season they've been embarrassed also in certain games.
Yeah,
like the one against Napoli, where they got embarrassed 4-1. But this was a very mature performance from Liverpool. Curtis Jones was good in the middle, and I would like to see him play more in that position. But this just tells you that Liverpool are in for this competition. Yeah,
great win for Liverpool, but you have to say Atlanta were just horrible on the night. It doesn't take anything away from how Liverpool performed. And you mentioned it just a few seconds ago. Now, Liverpool fans and fans generally starting to say, okay, that's it for Firmino now. You should sit on the bench for perhaps permanently. Diogo Jota is there to take his place and all of that. And after the game, that question was asked, was thrown to Jurgen Klopp as well. And it's had a very, very interesting response to that question. Jurgen Klopp on the conundrum of whether Firmino is going to now be dropped to the bench or Jota will be the main man going forward. Super game from Diogo Jota, but Jurgen Klopp saying that doesn't mean that Firmino, that doesn't spell the end for Roberto Firmino, in the Liverpool side. And he's made a very good point.
Actually, very good point. Firmino is not a bad player. It's just that the goals are
He's not the most prolific forward.
No, he's not,
but
actually.
It brings in...
It gives you options. Yeah. And that's why
that's some of the things Klopp always tries to highlight about his overall performance, how he brings others into play.
I was going there, actually, because it's not just about scoring goals. Yes, as a striker, primary duty, score goals. Yeah. But sometimes you drag players wide and open up spaces for others.
Salah.
Like what this guy was doing at the World Cup, the French
Olivier
Giroud.
Exactly.
He wasn't scoring, but he kept playing. And it worked well for them. Others will capitalize on the open spaces. And that's exactly what Firmino actually brings everyone to play. But again, it's there in many competitions. And so this is, you need to rotate the squad.
Options,
it gives you options. And Firmino, like I said earlier, not a bad player and can still light up anytime.
Absolutely. All right, then the last tennis scoreline of the day, Mönchengladbach and Shakhtar, 6-love. What was that about?
Very shocking. That was
the recent performances from Gladbach, no fluke.
No, at all. But you still didn't think they would go to Ukraine?
They led 2-0.
No, not at all. Not at all. 6.
Yeah.
When it was 2-3, I thought, okay.
Shakhtar will come back. Yeah.
Well, you know what? They led 2-0 against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
The sign was there. But we kind of ignored it. And
even against Inter, I think Inter equalized.
Yes, Inter also equalized late. So this time, 6-0 away.
Wow.
This is massive. Against the Shakhtar that beat Real Madrid on the opening night. Alisson Plea getting a hat-trick in this. It just shows you that this is going to be a very competitive group and a major worry also for Inter because Gladbach are playing very well. Not just in the Champions League, even in the league, because they beat Leipzig at the weekend.
1-0, yeah.
1-0. So they are playing well all round.
Wow. Group A, Group B looking very, very tough indeed. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about matches for today. Groups
Let's quickly run through the fixtures for today before we begin to take out our talking points. There you have it. Let's start with Group E, and we've read Chelsea up against Rennes, Sevilla up against Krasnodar. Those are the two matches in Group E. In Group F, Zenit St. Petersburg up against Lazio. Club Brugge will take on Dortmund. That's in Group F. We go to Group G. Barcelona will take on Dynamo Kiev. We have Cavals up against Juventus in Group G. Then in Group H, Istanbul Başakşehir will be up against Manchester United. And of course, RB Leipzig up against French money bags, Paris Saint-Germain. So
PSG Leipzig, that looks like a very good game.
Yeah, a very good one. Both of them having beaten Başakşehir and lost to United in this group. Leipzig shocking, 5-0 loss against United. That was shocking.
That was strange,
but again, this one, Neymar isn't fit. Same for Mbappe. So you just have to worry for PSG going into the fixture, because when you don't have those guys play there, you start wondering where will the goals come from. Icardi is still out.
Keane is in great form.
Oh, wow, because he scored a brace the other time.
Yeah, he scored a brace previously as well in the league. So, I mean, he's a good young player. So if you're missing your top forwards, you expect someone like him.
So both teams go into this worried, because Leipzig now lost 2 games back-to-back. They started the season very well, and now they've lost 2 straight games, and they failed to score in those 2 games, so which is a problem. So let's see, even though I favor the German side because they are home, to maybe get a victory in this one, but we'll see to that.
What about United? And that's our next talking point, United and the Turkish side.
Yeah, Bakasehi. United, well, they've done well in the Champions League. The Champions League is a different shade when you compare that to their performances in the Premier League. 2 straight wins, so you expect them to get a win in this. So for Ole, I hope he doesn't become complacent and decide to rotate the squad and bring in fringe players, being that he's already on 6 points and has already beaten the big boys in the group. He may be in for a shocker. So simple advice, play everyone. Well, Pogba is, for me, shouldn't start.
He had a few words to say about Paul Pogba. Let's just listen to the Manchester United manager and what he has to say about Paul Pogba. Probably was able to get off his back. But let's listen. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on this game and on Paul Pogba. Okay, all right. So, his defense of Pogba and his toss ahead of the big game.
For me, I don't care what he says about Pogba. Pogba...
Mind's made up already.
Not really about minds made up. He's just kind of player that gives you this Jekyll and Hyde kind of performance. Some days, fantastic. And others... terrible.
Just absent.
But again, you could also say maybe sometimes he's played out of position, because in the last game I saw him playing
to the left.
Why only Pogba? They can't seem to find a very... I mean, why only Pogba? Is he the only central midfielder in the world? He must see. I mean, every time he's not playing in
Must there be an issue?
Yeah, about his positional, where he's positioned on the pitch. He's a central midfielder, for crying out loud. Go on there and
play him there like a box-to-box.
He has all the attributes. So it seems like you said, people, his fans, and of course the coach expects the coach to defend
always
him.
Comes to his defense.
Exactly. Always making excuses for Pogba. Is that more terrible games for United? That is that
exactly
for decent games
in the last 2 starts to consider 2 penalties, not nice. And talking about the clubs he's played for, I think he had his best football at Juve. Since joining United. Now the performances haven't been consistent. And one problem I have with him,
you know what, Wilfred? Let's just hold that thought. We need to go on a break. About now, where we return, we'll continue from where we left it off, talking about Manchester United and all the other games in the UEFA Champions League. All right, so Wilfred, let me just go to, because we're pressed for time. You listened to him, said, look, I'm not bothered about whatever Roy Keane is saying. And the issue about we not having leaders is not true. We have leaders in this Manchester United squad. Those 2 statements, in what Maguire says in defense, did you buy those things? Do you think it's right not to be worried about Keane's criticism and the fact that, look, United actually have leaders in that team?
Well, whether they like it or not, we know those players go through the dailies. They watch the news just like us, and that's where they see most of the stats that we see about them also, and that journalists put together. So they may come on TV and say, we're not bothered. But reality is they are, but they wouldn't admit it. So these things are real. These are issues. And the only thing one could say is, okay, why not just mind your business? But for someone who has also played for the club before, will be emotionally attached to the club. So, but Harry Maguire did what every captain should do, come to the defense of the team and say, we're not bothered by that.
Are there leaders in that team?
Leaders. Bruno is a leader.
Bruno, actually. Bruno is a leader. But there was one incident that happened. I can't remember which game. He had an altercation with one of the defenders.
Lindelof.
That was Maguire.
Lindelof. Yeah,
that was Lindelof.
Yeah, these things happen.
Yeah, but it shouldn't happen on the pitch.
Yeah, it can happen.
It can happen, but not...
So Hugo Lloris had a clash with his son as well.
Yeah, that was with son.
At times. Anyways, that's it for
It's always better closed doors.
United. Let's see if they can make it 3 wins from 3 later tonight in Istanbul. Let's, before we look at the papers, updates on Diego Armando Maradona. Was taken to the hospital a couple of days ago, but the update now is that he's undergone a successful brain surgery and is now recovering. And just last week we're celebrating his 60th birthday. So when I heard he was taken to hospital again, I was a bit worried. But it's good to know that it's going to make a full recovery from this one. The surgery was done to remove a blood clot on his brain.
He's faced a lot of things, Maradona.
Yes.
Actually, in and out of hospital also, a
lot.
lot. I know many may look in the direction of his lifestyle, even while he was playing actively, had a drug ban and all the rest. He's had so much issues off the pitch.
Right.
Yeah, but for this, it's good to see that he's recuperating well, that the surgery went well. He's a great...
He's an absolute legend.
He's a legend.
And we're going to see...
again, so we don't want to see this happen now.
It's too early.
And it's too early, 60.
And like you said, it's just 60.
Just 60.
He's a legend.
I was seeing pictures from him. Look, this is the kind of attention Diego Maradona still gets after all these years. I mean, fans are going to the hospital to show their support for Diego Maradona. Yeah, just go there. I want to be sure that this guy's going to be fine. Look at pictures coming from the hospital.
When they got the news that the surgery had...
because he's an absolute legend. That's why he's highly revered in that country. And that's why Messi has got to win the World Cup if he wants to get this kind of adoration going forward.
Well, I actually think Messi will still get it whether he wins the World Cup.
No, not like this.
Well,
not like
this. Not like this.
Maradona is worshipped.
Like he's worshipped. He won the World Cup for them.
We know in South America, two things count for them. You have to win the World Cup, and also you have to win maybe the World Football of the Year. Messi has done one, but he hasn't won the World Cup, even though he's played in the final, and maybe one opportunity to do so in Qatar, one more opportunity. But Maradona will always be rated above Messi in Argentina, no doubt about that.
And because of the good things he has done, all of the things we say about his health, those people don't even remember. The only things they remember are the achievements he had while playing.
And when you look at the guys, when you look at their demography, the guys we've seen on the TV, majority of them are those who remember what happened in '86, for example. But we can also see some young people who, the stories have been passed to them also. So, great guy. I can't forget him at USA '94. That was the last World Cup he played in.
As painful as it was.
Yeah, played against us. Of course.
We wish Maradona a full recovery as soon as possible. Let's take a look at the papers now before we close the show. Starting with complete sports. Yes, Olaolu Aina is also still reflecting on that incredible first Premier League goal. Rockets
super goal.
He's always special scoring your first EPL goal, and that's one to remember.
Yeah, super goal. Weaker foot.
Well, weak in quotes. That doesn't look weak at all.
It doesn't look weak at all. That was a great goal. What a way to score your first goal in the Premier League.
Hopefully we'll get to see many more from Olaolu Aina. Also, still on
for the Super Eagles too.
For the Super Eagles, of course, most importantly. Real return to reckoning. Yes, we let go for Rodrigo in this game as well. To Sergio Ramos scored his 100th goal for Real Madrid.
Yeah, great. 105 in total in his career.
Incredible.
And you start looking at him, centre back. And he even has more goals than some strikers.
Right.
But again...
We're not naming names, though.
Okay, let's even name names.
No, we're not naming names. Don't do that.
Morata has more than him. Morata has about 150. And Morata is 29. He's a striker.
Don't do that.
And Sergio Ramos, you have just about 50 goals more than Sergio Ramos. Or you want to... Okay, like a Jimenez, for example. Let's use Jimenez. He just has just about
100. I just said we shouldn't do that. Now, come on,
come on, we need to compare. But we celebrate Jimenez and Sergio Ramos from the back. But again, the great hero actually scored. Fernando.
We're seeing 127. Very prolific defenders.
Yeah, from the back.
Ronald Koeman as well scored about 200 goals.
Exactly.
As a defender and stuff. Daniel Passarella, all those kind of guys just score loads of goals.
Captain, World Cup winner.
But more importantly, 55 of those goals have come from headers. That's for
he
Sergio Ramos.
is strong in the air. I mean,
the headmaster?
Yeah, you could say that. Let's look at the last
move for Radio Sporting Sun as we're ready to leave the studio. Sierra Leone showdown, Super Eagles hotel bills to go up 8.6 million. naira. Other interesting stories. Man City offers Messi pre-contract. That story is on the back page. But this one interests me. I want to comment on it. Wilder snubs Mayweather's training offer. Mayweather has offered, look, I know how to help you mix it up and beats Tyson Fury in the trilogy, but he's turned it down.
Well, reasons best known to him, but I think Wilder still has a good shot at Fury if he gets to face him.
Really, with the way he's been behaving recently?
Yeah, but
there's something up with that guy.
Something is wrong.
Yeah, something is off. Actually, something is
yeah.
off about him, but no date has been announced. Maybe when
Fury's moving on, he's going to take on
Fury's frustrated.
Yeah, he's frustrated.
Homecoming bout.
I get it, but I was actually looking at the last fight. I think he had a good chance against him until he had that cut, broken ear, and that was where he lost it.
As we leave, somebody said you can't teach a whole dog new tricks. Okay. And that's the problem with Wilder. Others can adapt, it can't, because there's only one style.
Yeah, but the guy that wants to help him, you don't want that. Come on.
And you look at the way Mayweather fights. He fights to outpoint you.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, that's what Wilder needs to learn. Wilder just goes in to knock you out, and most times he exposes himself and gets hit.
He needs to have a rethink about Mayweather's offer.
All right, we're pressed for time, and we've crossed the finish line on the show today. But one time, Wilfred, for his time.
It's a pleasure.
And hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Of course. And
that's a promise
in another one.
Live TV. Okay, all right. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoy doing this. We're back here again tomorrow. I'm Armando. Bye. Bye now.
I am Tayo Salam. Enjoy the rest of your day.